crossing the creek in Wakefield on the old rail bridge. And that stream goes up to the Wakefield mill, which I'm not going to go up to today. But just going through the town of Wakefield, down River Road to the rail trail. My favorite ice cream. We'll do that in a minute. So it wasn't that long ago that we had the train here. When I was parked my van here once to let my wife off at this store. And while I was parked there, the train blasted at me behind me to get off the tracks. Whew. This is not smooth. See your old house on the corner. So the best part about this section in Wakefield is that the road's not great, but because of that, not many people come down here. And it's a few kilometers, 3.4 kilometers to get to the bike path or the rail trail. So it's not really a bike path, but it is for me. We get to follow the Gatineau River pretty much the whole way down to Chelsea at least. And we're close to it all the time. It's just really nice. So they could have had the rail trail right to here, but I don't know why they didn't continue at that last 3 kilometers. Who knows? So I like having these heavy-duty tires on when I'm on a road like this. Makes all the difference. Still on River Road, right by the river. And I'm a couple hundred meters from going the bike path. Funny because this used to be a really smooth road. It's like a dream road to ride on. I think I can start right. Nope. Almost. I think I start there. There it is. That's the official entrance to the bike path. It's called the Voie Verte Chelsea instead of the Trail that I was on before. It's all part of the same route. The one I was on before was way up in low where it starts and all the way to Maniwaki. This one, as you can see, is super nice. It's like a little mini highway when you're on a bike, but you have to take it easy when you're riding because the speed limit's pretty low on here. But this is between, I guess what you'd call La Vallée area where River Road ends and Wakefield. But this takes me all the way down past Old Chelsea Road and then eventually just kind of ends into nothing where the road is washed out, or the railway was washed out and they never fixed it. Nobody has wanted to take responsibility for that, which is understandable because the costs are pretty big. Now my other concern is last year when I rode here, there was a big detour because part of the trail was being worked on, so I had to go way up onto Highway 105. And I don't see anything that indicates that, but there was nothing to indicate it last time either. This is Carmen Road coming up. If you go up that way, you actually go to Carmen Trails, where there's a road that crosses the 105. I'm very tempted to go up the road at Farm Point and do cross loop. I'm just getting up to Chemin Saint-Clément. I'm at the lower part of Farm Point, and I just have to go do cross loop. There's a massive hill here. Somehow it rained only here. Anyways, I'm gonna go up that hill, cross the highway, and onto cross loop, which is NCC, that goes through the little cross or valley. What's it called? Not Tulip Valley, whatever it's called. It's nice. Has a covered bridge. Anyways, this is a nice big climb. Big climb. Because I need it. A bit of water vapor. So this is Farm Point. Catch my breath. This is Highway 105. Not nearly as busy as it used to be, thanks to Highway 5 that we're going to cross as well. It's actually worth cycling on that section if I didn't want to see cross loop, that is. Wow, I really hope they didn't do the dirt road, because that will be gross. So this is a cross over Highway 5, the main highway that goes north through Wakefield and up towards Maniwaki. Oh, really? Actually turns into 105. Let's get out of here. Good, we're free. Rue Barré, November to May. Let's see if it's barrade. That's a new parking lot for Brown Lake. Back onto dirt. And this is officially cross loop. It's just a loop that used to be filled with farms going way back, and then the NCC bought this land to be a part of the Gatineau Park, and they leased out a bunch of the properties for a long time. So you have access points here to Heritage Lodge at P16, Healy Lodge here at this other little corner up ahead. And they have this beautiful little covered bridge. But as the people who lived here moved away, they started tearing down all these properties, all the farms, so that it can be created in, I don't know into what. Still looks like a farming area. They still let people hay it and everything. I'm not sure what the end goal will be, or how they plan to bring it back to what it used to be. I have no idea what it was like before farms were in here. Well, I can guess. But this is very different than even, say, 20 years ago when there were farms all along here. It's actually a little cemetery up there from the family that lived there for generations. The original settling of the area, similar to that Linett farm I mentioned. Cross family lived in here, and a bunch of others whose names I don't know. But right from this corner that we're approaching, it's a beautiful trail that goes up into the Gatineau Park. One of my favorites. Almost swallowed a bug. Now, when I was a kid, way back, there was a plan, a master plan for the Gatineau Park, and part of it was to put a zoo in this valley. So they expropriated a ton of properties along Highway 105 over there. Everyone had to leave, and then they abandoned it. So it left a lot of open space, which is nice in its way, but not great for the people who had to abandon their properties. And boy, am I ever glad there's no zoo here. It's just still a great spot with not too many people. Now we're down this little valley. That's Meech Creek. Goes all the way to Meech Lake basically. And then on my left comes out on the Gatineau River. So you have to get this just right. So if you hit this wrong, you'll flip off your bike. Yikes. Ah, wow, that hurt. A little dramatic. Holy moly, that was not something you should take at full speed. Note to self. But what a view up here. That's the Meech Valley. That bridge is what everybody knows Chelsea for. It's actually part of the logo for the city, or the town of Chelsea. And it's just a great spot. And they make it harder and harder to come in here, which is great for people on bikes like me. I can't believe there's no traffic up here. You can really see by the slowly narrowing road that fewer and fewer people drive in here. And I'm really curious to see what it'll turn into in the long run. The rock cut across the field here is Highway 5 just before you get to the big uphill at La Vallée exit. Occupied when we lived here. Had a beautiful barn, nice little farmhouse. It's all been torn down. Across the field I can see the bridge that goes on, I don't even know the trail number, but it's P16 where it starts, right across there. P16, you take that up to, not Healy Cabin, Heritage Lodge. That's a beautiful spot. It's about 5K from here. So it's a nice 10K back and forth walk. Same trail that goes up to Lac Philippe, which I'll do another day. But we're not going over there. That's on Pine Road. We're heading back down. I'm gonna try to get down to the train track. And I know exactly how to get there from a spot where I used to live. This is La Vallée restaurant, or it was a long time ago. I'll never remember it as anything else. But it's used to be a gas station there way back when I was a kid. And it was a restaurant for the longest time, and now it's like a little hotel and still kind of like a restaurant, I think. But this stretch of highway is the last I'll do on the highway. It's nice, I see they have a full shoulder here, but I'm going to turn down Ramsey Road and get myself back down to the tracks. It's the only place I know of for sure, or I shouldn't call them the tracks anymore. So we're just coming onto Ramsey Road, and the important thing for me is that I used to live here. For 7 years I lived down McDermott Road off of Ramsey. So this goes right back down to the river. Okay. It's weird. So this is a nice little hill. lose all that height we had. Wow, nice house. Looks like that house is for sale again. Gotta pay attention. It's that big hill. It's the LaFleur house on the corner. I don't know if they still live there. And there's the trail again. So off of the road, back on the trail. Now the only downside of having done all that is I missed some of the best sections and the most picturesque parts of the trail. This stuff is mostly surrounded at spots, so I'm not going to film too much here, but just to say I'm back on this trail. Is the Gatineau River Yacht Club. Didn't really get a good view of it, but it's always a really cool spot on an island. When I was a teenager, a lot of my friends were part of it. This was all washed out last year. It was a total pit here. Now it's all fixed. It's beautiful. There it is, Gatineau River Yacht Club. Which means we're pretty far down. And this area is looking nicer and nicer all the time. It's just beautiful. Nice thing about these sections is that they're pretty flat. You're continually going a little bit downhill because you're going down the Gatineau River, but very little change in elevation. This makes for a very smooth ride. If you don't like hills, this is an amazingly windy but not hilly trail. I like the hills, mind you, although at this point I'm a little tired, so I'd rather not have them as well. But yeah, it's just a very interesting route in general with some really nice river views all the time. So everywhere where I was when I started, when I was going up all those steep roads, is directly to my left or east. Not super far from here, but that entire section was there. So this part along the river is all developed with really nice homes now. And this is beautiful. You can tell we're near the end. Look at the dam in Chelsea, which you don't really notice very easily usually, especially when you're heading up to Wakefield, but it's just in front of me, which means that we're almost at the end of this section. Not quite, but we're getting there. I can see the back of the dam. I've never actually been around it, just seen it from the road on 366 and from here. I think you can get a little glimpse of it there. I can see all of downtown Ottawa at the same time. It's probably my favorite little section of the trail. There's so much to look at. Well, the cyclist traffic is picking up. It's a lot more all of a sudden. When I was 15, I went to a party down there. Made a lot of new friends. Still friends with them today. Yep, that's it. Very close to Highway 105 on my right. You can actually see it. Can't hear it though. So if you're ever doing a ride and you want to do this route and you don't want to be on any highways, I suggest driving up to Chelsea to the grocery store on 105 and coming down here and avoiding all this section. As you can see, old Chelsea is right across this field for me, but this part requires going out onto the highway further down, but there's nowhere else to park otherwise. You're kind of stuck. So yeah, if you're ever going to want to go do that ride, park in Chelsea and then ride up to Wakefield for lunch or something like that. It's a perfect ride. Nice and relaxed. Perfect thing to do, especially as a couple or friends or a couple of friends. We're just approaching Highway 105, a little crossing for a short section of the trail that's left. Or just down from Old Chelsea Road that goes to the main part of Chelsea. And now I have to turn up here because the trail just ends up ahead, unfortunately, forcing me onto the highway. Driven down here a few times. Surprisingly full of traffic. Didn't think it would be this bad. But this is pretty short-lived. Not great, but short-lived. Anymore. That isn't handy. I don't know what is. And there's my guys. Cycle store where I parked. So that was a total. I'm done just over 69 kilometers on the bike computer. A little bit less on the GPS, I'm sure. But primo velo, right where I started. And that's it for my ride. Thanks for joining me. That was great.